Hi everyone, I am excited for another math lesson today with you. So you guys just got done watching a brain pop on picture graphs, or you can also call them pictographs. And I wanted to show you a few examples of them and explain why pictographs are a great way to show your data. So we are not going to read this whole book, we're just going to look through at some of the examples and maybe answer some questions together. So my first picture here shows that a pictograph has many parts. Just like a bar graph, it has a title. It also has a label down at the bottom of what it's about and also what they're surveying about. It has a label on the side and it has the numbers going up. There are two things that are different about a picture graph than a bar graph. The first thing is that you represent your data using symbols. Instead of using bars, you are using symbols or pictures to show what you graphed about. So this graph is about crayons. So the person that created this graph decided that they wanted their picture to be crayons for this. The second thing about a picture graph that is different from a bar graph is the most important thing, which is the key. All picture graphs will have a key. The key is the most important part because it tells you what each symbol represents. So this says key. One red crayon equals one crayon, meaning anytime you see a red crayon, that means one vote. So sometimes you might see where it says key and it says the red crayon equals 5 crayons. So that means that you would have to skip count by 5s. So always look at that key and it gives you a clue on how to look at the picture graph. Here's another example of a picture graph. This graph is called books read. And we always want to look at that key first. The key says a green book equals one book. So that means that is one vote for that book. So the number of books read in Miss Velasquez's class, they read 15 books. And I know that because I looked at my scale here. And I also could just count by one. I know that that means one book. Here is another picture graph. Remember that graphs can be represented horizontally or vertically. And this one is shown in another way. So we have a title, once again. We have the symbols here, which are the stars. And of course, we have that important key. The key says 1 star equals 1 book. So that is how many books have been voted on. Can you look to see which was voted for the most? Yes, this one, science fiction, was voted for the most. It has 6 stars, 6 votes. Which one is voted the least? History was voted the least. It only had 1 vote. This is my last graph I want to show you. So this says books our class has read. That's the title of this graph. So if you notice on the key, it says smiley face equals 2 books. So that means every single time you are counting on this graph, you are going to count by 2s. So how many books did they read in September? Let's skip count by 2s to find out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They read 12 books in September. Now, you could easily get tricked and just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But because you are a super good detective and you looked at that key, you know that you need to skip count by 2. Now let's look over here in December. And let's skip count to see how many books they read. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then there's half a smiley face. What do we do there? We don't count by 2s. Instead, what you do, because it does not show a whole smiley face, you actually don't count by twos. You split 2 in half. And so I know that 2 split in half is 1. You actually count this as 1. So now let's count it again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. They read 13 books in December. Okay, now that we are very knowledgeable about picture graphs, we are going to play a little game. Now, normally we would play this together as a class, but we're going to do it a little bit different today because it's just going to be me and you. So what we're going to do is I am going to give you some questions and I want you to answer them the best you can. Now, if you need more time to answer a question, you can always pause the video. If you would like to get a piece of paper to solve the problems or keep track of your answers, you can do that too. Or you can just shout out the answer. That's okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So question number 1. Which cookie is liked the least? So the graph says favorite cookie: chocolate chip, sugar, peanut butter, oatmeal raisin. And then, oh, I see a key. The key says the chocolate chip cookie equals 2 students. So you have to use your skip count by 2 skills to figure out which cookie is liked the least. So the least means the lowest. Which one was the lowest voted one? If you need to pause the video, you can. Okay, ready? The answer is, peanut butter. Okay, let's see the next question. How many students liked oatmeal raisin? How many students liked oatmeal raisin? Pause the video if you need to solve it. Okay, ready for the answer? The answer is 6 liked oatmeal raisin because I could go 2, 4, 6. Because remember that key says a cookie equals 2 students. How many students took this survey? Ooh, that's a hard one. It wants to know how many kids all together took the survey. So you'll need to count all of these cookies. Don't forget the key. Pause the video to solve. Okay, if you are not done counting, pause the video to solve. Ready for the answer? The answer is 30 students. So if you skip count by 2s, you'll get 30. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Don't count that cookie from here. So I know some of you probably got tricked and accidentally counted that one. How many more students liked sugar cookies than oatmeal raisin? So here's sugar cookies, and let's solve this together. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8 sugar cookies and 2, 4, 6 oatmeal raisin cookies. So to find how many more, I need to subtract. So subtract 8 minus 6. Pause the video to solve. Ready for the answer? The answer is 2. 8 minus 6 equals 2. How many students like chocolate chip? Ready? Pause if you're not. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 students like chocolate chip. How many more students like chocolate chip cookies than peanut butter? Ooh, let's solve this together again. I'll give you a hint. So I need to count chocolate chip. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And peanut butter, 2, 4. Anytime I'm finding out how many more, I need to subtract. 12 minus 4. Solve the problem. Pause the video to solve. Okay, are you ready for the answer? The answer is 8. So if I subtract 12 minus 4, I will get 8. Let's do one more question. How many students liked sugar cookie? Count how many students like sugar cookie. Okay, ready? Let's see. 8 students like sugar cookies. Good job. Hope you enjoyed playing the picture graph game, and picture graphs are pretty fun. Now what you are going to do is you're going to go onto Seesaw, and there is a picture graph activity for you to do. You are going to count how many you see, and then you are going to take the information and use emojis to help you make a picture graph. If you are not able to get the emojis, you can just do another symbol. Maybe you want to draw a star or a circle. That's okay. So you can use emojis to help you show your picture graph, or you can draw a symbol of your choice. Happy picture graphing!